Hello and welcome back. In this tutorial I will cover terminal in macOS. The terminal is a very powerful tool that allows you to interact with a computer using text-based commands. So either you want to automate something or you want to perform certain actions that is not possible through the regular macOS interface. Terminal can be very useful. So let's get started and see what we can learn today. Alright guys, to get started we have to open a terminal first. So we go to the Spotlight search and we type terminal, hit enter. Now we are in terminal window, and yours might look a little different than mine because I removed all of this greeting messages saying that what is my folder and my last login. Okay, to start we're gonna see where we at right now. So we want to check what's our current directory is. For that you can use a command called print working directory, and its shortcut is like pwd. So you type pwd and hit enter in your terminal. That's gonna give you current directory, which in our case is users /elder. If you want to see what's inside current directory, you can use command ls, which is gonna print list of every item you have in your elder folder in our case. So we're going to type ls and hit enter, and that's where we have all of our files that are in our elder folder. Next, just to compare it, how it's going to look like in a folder, so you will know what's going on in the terminal and where we are moving to and from. We're going to open Finder. We're going to open current folder in Finder. For that, we're going to use open command. For that, we're going to say open, and to reference current directory, you have to use dot. Then you hit enter to execute this command, and here we go. We have Finder opened current directory folder for us. If you notice, here we have the same files as we have right here. It's the same files that's printed out in this directory and in this directory. And a quick tip for you: if you want to check the path you are in your Finder, you can press and hold Option key, and here you have computer storage name. Then you got a users folder, and inside that folder we got an elder. So we got a whole path to your folder up down here. And if you match it up with our window directory, it's matched up. So it's the same folder that we are looking in our terminal and in our Finder. Okay, now we know how to print current directory, and now we know how to list all of the items that are in this folder. We know how to open it in Finder, but how do we change directory we are in right now? So if I'll type pwd, it's going to be the same directory we were in because we haven't changed the location of this terminal path right now. So for that, you're going to use cd keyword, and cd stands for change directory. And with that, you have to reference the directory path you want to change your current directory to. So you type cd to reference current directory, you have to type dot, then you put /, and after that, because we are in elder folder, and elder folder has all of these items in, where we going to is we going from current directory, which is dot, to any of these files. So if I'll start typing D right here, and I'll try to autocomplete that, you can hear the sound that it's doing. That's I cannot do it. So, and for that, if I hit it one more time, it gave me desktop, documents, and downloads, and that's all three files that we have with the same name starting with a capital D. And just to know that in terminal, everything you type is case sensitive, so you have to be mindful of that. So D with a capital D and D with a lowercase d is completely different files, and your terminal will have trouble finding them, so make sure you keep that in mind. Okay, so moving along, and let's try to reference desktop file and change directory to desktop file. For that, we see that we have a D right here, but the second letter is different. So DE is a unique start of the name for the file folders. So we're going to type D, E, and then we hit tab to autocomplete our path. And in this case, it worked because it's, like I said, it's a unique keyword. Let's change it to desktop and see what's going to happen. So we're going to hit cd dot / desktop / and we hit enter. Now we are in our desktop folder. So let's check it out. Let's check our path now. If we hit print window directory and hit enter, now we have users, elder, desktop. So basically what we did in our terminal was we selected this file and we changed our directory to it. So we basically opened it. We opened the desktop folder with our terminal by changing its directory. Now, if we want to check if everything we see in our Finder is the same as what we got up here, we can say ls to print the list of items we have in this folder and hit enter. And as you can see, it's the same files we got up here in our Finder and in our terminal list that was printed. To check the path, like I was telling you about, you can use Option key, and you see that we have the same path to our desktop folder as we have right here in our terminal. Now we know how to open the folders that we are in, but how do we go back from the desktop up? How do we click that button right here and change directory back to our parent directory? For that, you're going to use the same keyword, change directory, but instead of just pointing to the current directory, you're going to point to parent directory and hit the / as well. So you pointing to current directory and you're saying go up one directory, and then you hit / and hit enter, and we are back in our elder directory. Just to check, we have to do print window directory again, and we are in users elder. Okay, now we know how to go back and forth, how to change the directory of our terminal, but how do we make directory, like creating a folder. So let me change the directory back to our desktop. And once I change that, what you want to do is you want to use mkdir command, which stands for make directory. After that, you want to specify the name of the directory that you want to create. In my case, I will just create like a new folder or something like that. New folder. Hit enter, and now if I will check what's inside my desktop folder by hitting ls again, I will see that I have new folder right here. So I created a new folder. Let's open that folder in our Finder. So hit open. Then I'm gonna reference current directory, put a /, type in new folder, hit tab to autocomplete, and hit enter. And as you can see in our Finder, now we got our new folder opened, right? Okay, now we know how to create a folder, right? Now how do we delete the folder that we just created? So for that, let me close this new folder in our Finder. Just be careful with the command that I'm gonna use right here, because it's gonna delete the folder that you'll command a terminal to delete completely. It's not gonna put it in your trash. It's gonna remove it from your computer, and it cannot be reversed. But if you are sure that you wanna delete some folders and you wanna do it with a terminal, you can use that command. The command I was talking about is rmdir, which stands for remove directory, right? And what directory do we want to remove? We're going to say dot / and new folder. New folder. Okay, now let's check what we got inside the desktop to make sure we deleted that. And as you can see, there's no new folder anymore in here. And by the way, I will include all of these commands that we're gonna learn today in the description below, so you can check it out up there. But in my learning curve, when I was trying to figure out how to navigate and how to use terminal properly, what I did is I took a piece of paper and I wrote down all of those commands. That way, whenever I needed to reference them or to use them, or I forgot how to use them, I basically opened this up, and that way I can remember it more clearly, you know. Okay, moving along. Now we know how to create directory, how to move directory, how to navigate back and forth to the folders or directories. I mean, this is the same. Directory and folders, the same word. Okay, now how do we create a file? How do we create some text file or anything like that? And to note that you cannot create a file in your Finder. You cannot create, let's say, as you can see right here, I have a package lock that JSON file. I cannot create that type of file in my folder, but I can do that in my terminal. For that, we're gonna use next command that's called touch. So we're gonna say touch and specify the name that we want to use for this file. In my case, for example, I'll use like home.html. like txt or something like that. If you want to create multiple files, you can do that as well. You just have to differentiate them, like hit space and another one like home.html, right? Okay, and now let's do that. And we created 2 files in our desktop, and let's check them up in the Finder this time. Let's open a desktop and let's see. And here you have it. You have home.html and home.txt created on our desktop. To remove those files, you can use the same command, but just hitting rm, which is going to be remove. And same as it was with rm directory, remove directory, it's going to remove these 2 files permanently from your computer. So be careful with that if you need to use those files or you're not sure if you want to use them or not. We're going to remove them from here, and as you saw right away in our desktop, they have been removed. Okay. Next, if you want to check what's the command's going to do or anything like that in your terminal, you can use man command, which stands for manual. So what you have to do is you put man, which is manual, and command that you want to get your manual for. In our case, let's do like a man ls. So we're specifying give me manual for command ls, and hit enter, and here you'll have all your general commands for list for ls. It's going to give you all the commands that you have for ls. And to quit that manual, you put q, letter q. As you can see, I'm almost hitting the bottom of my screen on my terminal, and to clear everything up, I'm just going to use the command clear here, and we'll clear everything up. Note that you're not going to use all of that data that you typed in. You can access your previous commands with arrow up or arrow down. So basically you can use arrows to type in the previously used commands. Okay, next one I want to cover is it's going to be copy file. So we're going to type cp, and for this one you need 2 arguments. First, the file that you want to copy. In my case, it's going to be home.txt, and next one you want to reference the file that you want to copy into, and in my case it's going to be YouTube. So what's happening here is you copying home.txt and inserting it into YouTube folder. Let's try it out. And now when I open my YouTube folder, you can see that I have home.txt copied right here. Okay, let me remove that home.txt from here, and also let me change directory to YouTube and remove it from here as well. Next one I want to cover is history. So you type history, type enter, and that's going to be all 542 commands that I used previously. You see, those are plenty. So if you forgot or any command that you typed in, or you want to reuse it, or it's something like a specific command, you can use history and it's going to print all of those commands out for you. Okay, let me clear. What's going on? Oh my gosh. Clear. Okay, let me clear this one. And the last one I want to cover today is going to be move command. So in case you want to move one file into another, what you can do is to use move command. So you type mv, the file that you want to move. In my case, let's move like YouTube. Oh, I'm in YouTube. Let me change directory to the parent one, and here let me move YouTube to, and second argument is going to be where I want to move it to. Let me move it to web. And you see, I tried to type W with the lowercase and hit tab to autocomplete that for me. And because I have this folder right here starting with a capital W, it won't let me to autocomplete that because it won't see it. It's a case sensitive, so keep that in mind. Let me do W and hit tab. So now what I'm doing is I'm moving YouTube folder into web folder. Let's try it out. And as you can see, it's disappeared from here. Let me open the web folder to make sure it's here, and blah 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 blah. Add too many files here, and YouTube is right here. Let me take that YouTube file from here and move it up. So where we want to move it, we want to move it to the elder folder, which is going to be parent folder of our desktop. We're going to say move YouTube to our parent folder, which is going to be, in our case, this folder, elder. And let's hit enter and try it out. And now let's check if it's here now. Okay, yeah, it moved from children folder, which was desktop, up to elder folder. What if we want to change the name of a file or a folder? In this case, we want to use the same command, which is move. So what we're going to do is, let's say we want to change that name right here, this folder's name, YouTube, to something else. And let's find out where we are. So we are in users elder. Let's change our directory to desktop. What we're going to do is we're going to say move YouTube. This is the current name of this folder to the name that we want to use, and let's say we rename it to Google or something like that. And now you see that this name has been changed. So just a quick note, if every time you want to reference the folder directory, so you're using / at the end of it. So basically what's happening is you are moving name of this current name, and you're moving new name into the old name. I mean, I know it's weird, but that's the way you're changing names in terminal. So let's try it out with the files. So first of all, let's create a file, and we're gonna say home.txt, right? We're gonna create it here in the desktop. We created a file. Now let's change its name from home.txt to let's say home.html. This name changed from home.txt to home.html. You get the idea. And the last but not least, what I want to talk about is how to use built-in text editor called Nano in Terminal. So for that, let's change the name of that home text HTML back to home.txt, so it's going to be text file again. And now for that, what you want to do is you type in nano and the file that you want to open. If you're not going to specify any files, and you hit enter, it's going to open just a empty file that it's going to create right away. And here you can type some text or edit some text or anything like that. To quit, you hit Control Exit, and you can find all those commands, basic commands, on the bottom here. You Control Exit, it's going to ask you if you want to save or not. You press no in that case. Let's open the file that we just created, which is going to be home.txt in Nano. Now we're going to say here, hello world from terminal. We hit Control O. It's going to ask you where you want to save it. And in my case, I'm just going to cancel it. It's going to save it anyway if you hit Control X, and it's going to ask you, and you say yes. It's going to ask you what's the name you want to specify for that. Let's use the same name, and it's going to overwrite home.txt. Now let's open that home.txt and see what we got inside. I'm sorry, it's opened in the different window that I got here. So you get the idea. If you need to edit some text real quick, or you want to create a text or anything like that, Nano is a quick way to do that. Alright guys, that covers everything I wanted to talk about in this tutorial. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And I know, I only got 2 videos right now, so there's nothing to subscribe to. But I'm planning to release many more videos on programming languages and tech related stuff. So stick around. Happy New Year, be safe, and I'll see you at the next one.